Hello music students, this is Mr. Escalante for the Ontario Montclair School District Music Department. Today we're going to learn how to set up your trumpet, and I actually have a case already taken out here. And as a student you would walk out either from a locker or carrying it from home, and then as you're in your classroom you would bring it up and set it up right on your lap here. Okay, now how would you know whether what's right side up or is the case upside down? Okay, one of the important things is you usually see a company label. Sometimes it'll be blue or red. In this case, it's red. And another good hint is your clips. Your clips will usually tell you, hey, as I clip it up, the latches go down, right? So that's another way you'll know, okay, this is right side up. Obviously, if I go this way, upside down, and you're trying to do the clips, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna feel weird. And then the other thing is the label is on the bottom. So those are good ways to find out how to open your case properly. Okay, so here we go. I bring up the clips and the latches go down. Okay, here's another thing. Usually you'll have a little strap to hold the top, and this would actually open up to here. This one doesn't have one, so depending on the brand, just figure out, okay, does mine have one or mine doesn't. Be careful when you open it, because if this opens up pretty hard, it could flip over and then drop your instrument. Okay, now I don't have a mouthpiece here because I have a mouthpiece right on my side of me in a little pocket, and my mouthpiece is next to me and it's warm, and I like to have it in this little pocket, and you can get one anywhere, a little store, just Amazon or any store that has small little pockets for your belt. One of the things is I don't like to leave it in the case, because when I pull it out it gets cold. So having it next to your body is actually one of the best things, because it keeps it safe, it keeps it warm, and it keeps you with an idea that, hey, I got to practice today. So that's another good hint to start doing as a student, getting a little pocket for your mouthpiece. Something goes on your belt or part of your pants or maybe in your backpack, but usually you want something next to you, so it kind of reminds you what things you have to do to practice. Okay, so now we're going to take out the trumpet. Okay, close our case. Notice I said close our case. A lot of students pop out the valve oil, cloth, and all of a sudden they open it and boom, everything falls out and there's a big mess. So always, carry that practice. Put the case next to you. It doesn't bother anybody from tripping, and also important, it keeps everything really organized in the room. Okay, so here's your trumpet. Okay, now the left side doesn't have a tube or anything, and usually that's the best side to lay a trumpet, always. Okay, it avoids from you banging it up or maybe causing it not to work anymore. Now the right side has on the second valve, and let me break that down, valve 1, 2, and 3. Okay, right here on the second valve there is a tube that sticks out, and that's how you know that's the right side. On the left side, you don't have that. Okay? So again, it's 1, 2, and 3 if you're looking at it from the left side, and the right side, same thing, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So there we go. All right, so now we're going to start with the left side. One of the important things to do is your ring finger, right? So here's my ring, right? Right here is the ring of the trumpet. So that's a good guide. It's kind of like, gives me a little pocket to fall into. Usually students, when they do that, they pretty much know where their fingers are falling, and that is a good guide. So ring goes into the ring of the trumpet. Now, the thumb falls next to the first valve, but then I have students sometimes putting their fingers up here. One of the main things you want is the middle finger and the index finger to go next to the third valve inside. So now you have basically these 4 fingers already have a place, a home where to put themselves. Now the last finger depends on choice, depends on the trumpet player, but there's a few options. Here you could put it on the third slide here, or you could put it down here. Okay? Some trumpet players like it like this, some trumpet players like it like this. Okay? It depends on you and your preference. Okay? So I like it like this. So here it is. You also want to see that you create like a C shape here, which I'll talk about later. But one of the main things is you don't want to kind of cringe your hand and make it all stiff here. Okay, you want to do it as natural as possible. Okay, so that's the left side. There it is. Okay? Kind of an aerial view from here. Okay, now let's go to the right. Okay, so here's the right hand. Okay, thumb. Okay, and we said valve 1, 2, and 3. Notice how I did index finger, middle finger, and ring finger. These 3 will go on the first 3 valves. The thumb also needs a home. Now let me push my hand away so you can see. You want the thumb to go in between the first and the second valve. So it goes right here. I'll leave it right there so you can see. Okay. Then you go thumb 1, 2, and 3. Finger 1, 2, and 3. And then the pinky falls in the hook just naturally right here. You can see the hook right here. Okay, your pinky goes there. And that's how the right hand is actually set for the right side. Okay? Now you always want your fingertips on the keys. Always the fingertips on the keys. You never want them flat like this. Always the fingertips. Great advice. And then, always keeping your hand like a C. Now I talked about keeping your hands like C's because that's the most natural pose we do as human beings when we stand up. Your hand falls in this kind of very simple C-shaped position, and that's what you want when you're playing. Just like that. Okay? Now usually you'll hold it this way on your right side of your lap here, okay? And with your position, it'd be a good practice to continually do that, okay? And then finally, when you put in your mouthpiece, you want to make sure that you just kind of let it drop in, okay? Don't force it, don't push it, especially try not to drop it because sometimes that could affect your embouchure, and we call this your embouchure, right where your mouthpiece falls, okay? Yeah, on your mouth here, embouchure, okay? You want to hold it on the tip. We'll go into detail in another video. So, but usually you want to just drop it in like that, okay? And you're ready for your teacher to guide you and tell you, what's the first lesson. Okay, so that's how you properly set up your trumpet. This is Mr. Escalante. Thanks again for watching, and look out for more of those OMST videos from our music department. You take care.